here going over we're back, another episode. We're back, Supergirl and Batwoman, and we are going to start things off with a little Batwoman as we get right into this week's episode. So for this episode of Batwoman, it's pretty involved. So, we have we have a new villain, the newest villain, the throwaway villain of the week, so to speak. She is the socialite slasher, like we'll just call her. It starts off, it shows this girl who, she was putting on her makeup, and she's like a socialite. She's like popular on the internet, on Instagram or whatever. And, like you just hear her mom in the background telling her, put on your eye makeup because it gets rid of wrinkles, and your face makeup because it does this and it does that. And the girl basically just cracked under the pressure of trying to look beautiful and trying to obtain this idea of beauty that her mom had set for her. So she mentally went crazy and she snapped. When she looked at herself, the girl was attractive, obviously, but whenever she looked at herself in the mirror, she just saw an ugly face because she was no longer able to see, her own beauty. She just saw the flaws that, that was based on like the pressure that her mom put on her. So she took a piece of glass and cut her face. She ended up getting, she ended up getting put in an institution, and she broke out of the institution, and now she's on the warpath to slice the face of every socialite she can find in Gotham City. She cut up like, girls who had makeup lines, girls who had fashion lines. She actually rolled up on her mom and she cut her mom's face. Batwoman and the gang are on the hunt for this woman. They, like Luke's looking into it. It doesn't take them that long to find out, that she's targeting, like socialites. But then it was actually Sophie who figured out that she's not targeting the socialites because she's jealous of who they are. She's targeting them because she's trying to get them to look like her, because she cut her own face. So, and then Luke had even deduced that she was only cutting, she wasn't cutting people's bodies or limbs. She was only cutting the girls' faces. So that's how Kate knew. She was like, well, this is obviously personal. So so they said, they do their due diligence. Sophie's on the team now, well, temporarily on the team now, because remember she got fired from the Crows in the last episode. So now she's teamed up with Batwoman. Her and Kate, Batwoman. Her and Batwoman, she like like Sophie tells Mary that she kissed Batwoman. Kate ends up telling Luke. Luke is just like, you gotta break that shit off real quick. And then Mary's just like, oh, I'm happy for you. But like Luke said, he was just like, there's a reason why Batman never had a woman, because if somebody finds out that he has somebody, they'll get to you through that person. Despite the fact that Sophie works for the Crows and she can take care of herself, like Luke said, it's not going to stop her from being a target. So, Batwoman goes to the house, to tell Sophie, like, oh, we can't do this anymore. Sophie, and I actually thought it was cool because usually whenever situations like that happen, they always do the thing where one person's like, oh, we can't be together. Then the other person gets upset and they're like, but why? And then they get all angry and start crying. Sophie was just like, whatever, bitch. She was like, if you want to walk away, she's like, I dare you to walk away. And then the two of them ended up making out. So it was kind of like a thing. They ended up like fighting. They investigated the slasher crime together. So they found the next target, which was a girl who had a makeup van. Sophie and Batwoman, they swoop in. They find the girl. They find and actually the slasher girl, when she had the makeup socialite tied up, and she was like, I'm gonna slash your face or like burn your face. The girl that she rolled up on actually used to be a former best friend of hers. So the girl's tied up. She's like, I'm sorry, I wasn't a good friend to you when you went into the mental institution. And she brought up a very good point, because all the other socialites whose faces she's been slashing, they all had some sort of cosmetic surgery. They had like, their butt done, their breast done, their eyes done, their cheekbones, their chin. They all had like some sort of cosmetic surgery. And then like the crazy chick, even the slasher chick even said, she was just like, why is it that when I looked in the mirror and I didn't like what I saw, and I took glass to my face and cut my face, they put me in a mental institution. But when the rest of you look in the mirror and don't like what you see, and you get your nose shaved down, or get your cheekbones shaved down, or get your chin redone, people cheer for you and follow you on social media. Nobody thinks that you guys are crazy. And I was just like, that's a damn good point. So, but say la vie. So Sophie comes in, she beats up the slasher. Kate saves the girl. Kate saves the girl from getting her. So she's the only socialite who didn't get her face torn out. And then after that, the two of them are just like, it was like Batwoman told her, she was like, it was a good run, but she was like, we can't be together, because she was just like, look, I'm Batwoman. I got a lot of lies. I got a lot of secrets. And if we get together, our relationship's going to be based on lies and secrets. And I'm just like, well, not really, because she knows you're Kate. Like if you tell her she's like Batwoman's explanation for why they can't be together would make perfect sense. It made perfect sense. I don't have a problem with what she said, with the exception of the fact that that would work if Batwoman was some random person. Sophie knows Kate, so that would uncomplicate the entire situation. So for that part about it, I didn't really buy it, but whatever. So they broke up. Sophie started crying. Her mom came to visit. And her mom was just like, I heard you got fired from the Crows, baby, and I heard that you left your husband, and this, that, and the third, and then they kind of got into it because because Sophie couldn't tell her mom that she was a lesbian. She was afraid to tell her mom that she was a lesbian, and for good reason, because later on she told her mom, she was like, listen, she was like, I broke up with Tyler because I wasn't in love with him, because when I was in the academy I fell in love with a woman. I like women, get over it. So the mom got mad. She was like, it's bad enough you's a black woman in today's world, you gotta add this on top of that. And then she was like, why didn't you just tell me? And then Sophie was like, I didn't want you, she was just like, I didn't want you to look at me the way you're looking at me. And then the mom now usually in these moments the parent is just like, oh, I'm sorry, baby, like I shouldn't have, I'm sorry I made you feel that way, give me a hug, I love you and accept you. The mom got up and was like, bitch, what do you think this appointment's supposed to look like? And she walked out the house, and I was like, damn. I felt so bad. She kept it real though, because not everybody's gonna be accepting of it, especially your own family, the people that love you the most. So they kept this episode did a good job of not doing the usual tropes that we see in every single TV show, and it was funny. So Sophie mad, and she gotta deal with that. Commander Kane actually hit her up because apparently there's some shenanigans going on in the Crows, and he needs to investigate. So after he just put Sophie on temporary leave or suspension, he's calling her back now because he feels like there's a mole in the Crows. There's there's somebody there's some bad seeds in the Crows, and Sophie's the only person that he trusts to find out who the bad seeds are, which is good because now that the Batwoman, her and the whole Batwoman thing is over, it gives her something to do now, post that situation. But I am gonna miss dressing up Sophie, because in the beginning of the episode she was in a coffee shop and she's looking good in the mug, and I'm just like, I'm gonna miss her looking like I'm gonna miss her dressing sexy, because now she's gonna go back to wearing the Crow outfit. but she's still fine. Mary, because remember in the last episode, Mary figured out that Kate was Batwoman. But the cool thing with Mary is she didn't actually tell Kate that she knows. She wants Kate to tell her. I mean, maybe she's overly thinking it a little bit, but she wants Kate to be the one to tell her, to tell her secret. So she was dropping hints. She was just like, hey, I could help you if you need a scientist, if you need medical, if you and then Kate was just like, nah, I'm good. And then at the end of the episode, Mary basically told her flat out, she was like, listen, when you found out that I had a secret clinic, she was like, I trusted you with that information because I knew I could trust you with my secret. And she was like, I hope that one day you can trust me. And I'm just like, at that point, if you're going to say something like that to her, you might as well just be like, yo, bitch, I know the secret. Because the cat's out of the bag at that point. I'm like, Mary done said it. Mary basically done said it. She's waiting for Kate to come clean at this point. So we'll see what happens, because I don't think Kate gonna do it. If Kate didn't tell Sophie, she ain't thinking about no Mary. So, all right, and finally we have Alice, who she spent the entire episode chasing, Mouse's dad, trying to find him, and she eventually found him, and she couldn't confront him. She felt very uncomfortable at confronting him. And then she actually went to a psychiatrist. She went to a shrink, and the shrink told her, he was just like, well, he said the reason why is because you're still that trapped little girl, from back in the day, and you're basically afraid of your abuser. So, you got to overcome that fear. If you want to you got to confront this man and overcome that fear. So, Alice basically tried to work on that. She ended up tracking down the person who, that Kate and Sophie were after, the girl who was slashing faces. Alice actually tracked that person down because she found out that after that girl had cut her own face, Mouse's dad ended up giving her the plastic surgery to try to fix her face. And I guess he put one of his skin faces on her and tried to sew it in or whatever. So Alice rolled up on the girl when she was tied up because Kate and Sophie, they tied the girl up and then both of them dipped. So Alice cut the girl's face off, put her face on her face so she can get into the doctor's into Mouse's dad's office. She snuck into the doctor's office, and then she was just like, haha, it's me, Alice. And then he's like, I thought I killed you. And he's like, wrong girl, motherfucker. And then she she snatched him up. So now Alice has him at her hideout. And she's just like, I'm going to torture you, but first tell me where Mouse is. And he was just like, you want your mouse? I'll tell you where Mouse is. Because Mouse is still tied up. Like, the boy's still tied up. His dad still got him tied up. But the dad actually pumped him full of scarecrow fear toxin. So he basically just sent Alice to go get Mouse. And when she opens the door to free him, he's probably going to attack her because the boy just got pumped full of fear toxin. And that's pretty cool because I like the fact that we're incorporating actual Batman villains like into the show because, I mean, Bruce Wayne may have been gone for 3 or 4 years, but let's not act like these villains still aren't in Gotham City. So the fear toxin, so the introduction of the fear toxin was cool. Yeah, and that's it. So that that's what they're waiting for. So now they're waiting for we're waiting next week. Mouse is going to be on the rampage and. The Bat Gang will have to stop it. So like I said, good episode of Batwoman. Did a good job of focusing on like someone, it's like someone other than Beth, and I'm really like I'm down for that. Like let's mix up these villains, and like I said, let's drop a little bit more Batman villains. Let's incorporate some of this stuff into the TV show because the show's getting really good, and I can't wait to see how the season ends. So for Supergirl. A lot happened and a lot didn't happen at the same time. The episode starts where Andrea Rojas, she's rolling out the obsidian tech with the little the lens thingy. And the night of the rollout, like I said, she's getting ready to like roll this out worldwide to everybody. So I expect to see these obsidian glasses pop up on like Batwoman and the Flash and them. So so she's getting ready to roll it out, and Andrea's attacked. She's attacked by some weirdo, in a costume that has like purple energy. Supergirl comes in for the save. So Lex Luthor rolls up on the blonde chick who's running Leviathan, because Lex is still trying to like sneak himself into Leviathan. He rolls up on her and he's like, listen, you guys are about to roll out, the biggest thing of all time, and we can't have people trying to stop your launch. And then she's like, well, why do you want to help us, Lex? And then he even told her, because Lex's whole thing is he's trying to get himself into Leviathan so he can find out he's trying to become a member of Leviathan. Like that's his whole goal. So, and then he told her, he was like, listen, because she was just like, if someone's attacking Andrea, she was like, we'll handle it. And Lex knows that Leviathan exists, so he kind of told her without telling her that he knows about the whole Leviathan thing, because he was just like, well, do you want your people on it? Because with the rollout of the obsidian glasses, the obsidian lenses or whatever, he was just like, there are going to be cameras all over Andrea, so do you want Leviathan people popping up on every camera on the planet? And then she was kind of like, I see your point. And then he was like, yo, let me tell Supergirl to do it. So Lex convinces Supergirl to be Andrea's bodyguard. Andrea ain't trying to hear it, but she accepts the help anyway. They go in, like Supergirl goes in, she's with her. Andrea gets attacked again, while she's, because she's doing a press conference, and, because the launch is coming, she's doing a press conference. William shows up to cover the press conference, and then he actually meets Supergirl for the first time, and William and Supergirl have a conversation. She gets to know him, she gets to know more about him, because the thing is, remember, like, Homeboy, like 3 episodes ago, he asked her out on a date, and she was like, no. But now that she's talking to him as Supergirl, she's actually getting to know him. So it's almost like the two of them are having a date without actually having a traditional date. And the more she's getting to know him, she's like, you know what, this dude actually is pretty cool. He's actually like a great guy. And she's kind of rethinking turning him down now. So but then like the purple mist person busts through, attacks Andrea. Supergirl like fights her off, and then they tell Andrea like don't do the launch, and she's like, no, I'm gonna do it for my father. And then so now like that's the whole thing where Supergirl's just like, I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to keep her safe because this chick don't listen. Alex, now that she quit the DEO, her and Jean are working together in the Super Friend Tower. But Lex stripped her of all her DEO-ism. She doesn't have her costume in. And I liked Alex's suit, like the one that Wynn made for her. She stripped, because I guess like with the suit and everything, it's DEO property now. So she got stripped of the suit, she got stripped of the gun, and then she was kind of whining about that gun. Like, I get Alex's whole thing, because Alex kind of struggled in the episode, because just like Ava on Legends of Tomorrow, Alex used to be the head of a huge government organization, and now she does Diddley Squad. And she kind of struggled with that. Kelly popped up for 2 seconds to give her some breakfast. We need more Kelly. I like Kelly. And but her and Alex, they were trying to find out who this person is with the purple mist. With the purple mist was trying to kill Andrea. They asked Brainy for help. Brainy purposely threw them off the scent because he's still working for Lex, and Lex's agenda is the one that needs to survive in all this. Now the rollout is happening. We're here, the big day of the big rollout, and Supergirl's on alert. Everybody's on alert. Alex and Jean go in, they end up finding out where this person lives, and they do some digging, and then they find out that the person used to work for Andrea when the glasses were first being produced. And this gentleman, he got obsessed with them. Like, he got because he was an alien. He was an alien from a different planet, and he missed his home so much that the virtual reality, glasses, the virtual reality tech, it put him in a virtual world, which I assumed was his home planet. And what happened was this person got addicted to using the technology, and he became obsessed with the technology because when you love something or someone and you're forced to be without them or it does something to you, and you would literally give your right arm to be back in that place again or be back with that person that makes you happy. So he missed his home planet so much. And he was so obsessed with the virtual world that when they took the VR away from him, he couldn't handle it. Like, he couldn't handle being out in the real world. Like, he needed to be where he wanted to be. And he got fired for that. But then he ended up committing suicide, which is greatly unfortunate. It's that, it's very sad. It's because, and he even wrote a letter, saying that, he couldn't deal with the real world. He missed his home world so much. So he killed himself. So then they were just like, well, shoot, if he killed himself, because the person with the purple mist was trying to kill Andrea and trying to stop the Obsidian launch. So they're just like, well, if he killed himself, who the hell is trying to get revenge? And then they found out he had a wife, and his wife, she's like the true victim here because, she lost her. Like, in her mind, she's like, I lost my husband because of this stupid VR tech. And she ended up using these gauntlets that shoot out this pink aura. She ended up using those gauntlets to try to, take down Obsidian and destroy the whole VR launch. She tried to but the problem was it was going to kill a lot of people in the process. But but Supergirl came in. She fought the girl. The girl's actually kicking her ass. So it's like, I don't know whatever power she had, but her powers basically stopped Kara from trying to do anything. And she was gonna blow up the entire building. But Kara told her, she was like, if you blow up the launch, there are a lot of people in this building that are going to get hurt. Like, people are going to suffer because of that. And then she's like, I know you miss your husband and everything, but she's like, the revenge fact, she's like, this isn't the way. So Kara talked her down. The woman ended up turning herself in, and they saved the day. Which was like I said, but it was sad for her. Like, I hope she actually doesn't get, because I don't think she killed anybody. I mean, it's like, I guess she'll get locked up for attempted murder, but she didn't actually kill anybody. But I felt bad for her. Yeah, but they stopped the launch, and the Obsidian rollout is going as planned. Lex later rolled up on the blonde chick, and he was just like, yo, we saved Andrea, and the launch came through. And then she was like, well, it was sloppy. And he was like, well, how about this? He's like, since I'm Lex Luthor, and I'm the most loved man on the planet, he said, let me become an ambassador for you to talk to people about your Obsidian tech. He's like, with me backing you, your VR can be all over the planet, and you guys will make millions of dollars. And then she was like, well, what do you want in return? And then Lex was like, Lex basically like, introduced me to Leviathan. Because Lex is still trying to kill Leviathan. He's still trying to take over Leviathan. He wants to know about Leviathan. So this is his way of infiltrating, Leviathan. Lex basically wants a seat at the Leviathan table, so he can eventually take over Leviathan. And that leads us into Lena. Because Lena was, the whole episode, Lena's still working on this thing where she's trying to make people more friendlier, make people happier. And she's upset because Supergirl's taking it as she's trying to take away free will. But the line is very blurred. So Lex set it up to where Lena went to a prison and was helping prisoners who wanted to be better people, who were like the worst of the worst. She tried some experiments. It worked on one person. It didn't work so well on someone else. She ended up tweaking her and Lex together ended up tweaking, the formula. They got it to work. But there is a blurred line between taking away people's free will and just making them happier or more friendly or more docile. And I think the reason why Lex is trying so hard to help Lena, because he's telling Lena, he's like, I'm your brother, I love you, and I want to help you succeed. But I think the real reason why Lex is doing it is because he's going to use Lena. When Lena finally perfects this thing, Lex is going to use it on Leviathan so he can control Leviathan. And I think Lex's whole thing is, that's his end game. He's going to use Leviathan, he's going to use the Obsidian tech, and then he's going to use it for himself to try to take over the world. That's Lex's master plan, in my opinion. So for but Lena's whole thing is she's just worried about not being the villain, and I'm like, bro, homegirl, you teaming up with Lex Luthor. But so yeah, but Alex ended up, Jean, Alex ended up doing good. Jean gave her this Martian weapon that can, it's this Martian cube thing that allows her to turn it into whatever weapon she wants. So she can turn it into a gun, she can turn it into a sword, a bow staff, and this could be cool. And I'd like to see where Alex goes with this, and I hope Alex gets a new suit, because she was badass, and I would hate the fact that they stripped that from her. Brainy's still struggling with working with Lex, but he's still doing what he got to do. Dreamer showed up to help out. She wasn't there that much, and Kara, William ended up. They talked about going on an actual date. And that was pretty much it. Nothing really happened with Jean. He was just there to play dad figure. And yeah, I don't think I'm missing anybody. So cool episode of Supergirl. Like I said, oh, I forgot about Andrea. Yeah, so when Supergirl was fighting, I knew I was missing something. When Supergirl was fighting the purple woman, with the stuff, Andrea, she took Andrea to the DEO and was keep her, because she was the target. She took her to the DEO, and then Andrea was trying so hard because she wanted to save her launch and save her company. Her power, because remember, she got that medallion, her power kicked in, and she ended up phasing, because remember, she can turn into black smoke, and she phased through the wall, and then she ended up going back to the Obsidian, and everybody was like, how'd you get here so fast? And she was like, don't worry about it. And then, later on, after the day was saved and everybody was gone, she went upstairs and she took the medallion, and then she disappeared. So now Andrea's, because remember, after Crisis, Lena went to go talk to Andrea, and Andrea said that they never asked her to do Leviathan never asked her to do a mission. But now she touched the medallion, she turned into the Smoke Woman, she's going to get the black suit and the mask on with the ponytail and everything. So maybe now Leviathan will actually ask her to do something. Which is funny, because when Lex walked up to Homegirl and he was like, yo, let Supergirl protect Andrea, she was probably like, well, Andrea doesn't need it because she can use that medallion and defend herself. But like I said, this is the first time she's ever done that. So that was it. Like I said, cool episode of Supergirl. It's a very good episode of Supergirl. And like I said, I'm looking. Like I said, a lot happened. There's a lot going on and not much going on at the same time. But I'm looking forward to it, and I want to see where all this goes, going forward. So that was it. That was my reviews for Supergirl and Batwoman. We're up to the high 15s. I think we got about 7 episodes left for both shows. Thank you for tuning in. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Check out my other videos. And for Batwoman and Supergirl, as always, I'm out this bitch.